Howdy folks, it's Turtle here and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Stream week on the channel is over. My life is slowly getting back to normal, although now we're about to enter the holiday season, which is not normal, but streams are over by the time you watch this video. And we are in the current version of the simulator, Game of the Year edition, and one of the things that was added that we didn't get to in the live streams are the training modules. So there's a few added training modules here. The bush pilot and eye for navigation. So we're going to do these. There's 14 modules. I think we will do all of this in one video and all of IFR in one video, I think. And then we'll mix in some of the discovery flights that were added, as well as getting back to the bush trips, which is the big thing I've been doing lately. Those are fixed. We've got 4 left of those. So look forward to that and all the stuff I planned. But today it's about the bush pilot flight training. We're not going to try to get A+ on all these. I tried for that one. I had to redo a couple things. There's one leg in here I can't get an A because it's weird and everybody else tells me they have the same problem. And you hear my water softener in the background. My studio door's open tonight. VFR, whatever. That's like a high C in the United States. Basically grading system, but they call it a B, so whatever, and then that's a B. So they give us an A overall, I think. Well, they did until these were added. So whatever. I don't know even why I'm talking about that, but I am. So we're not shooting for straight A's. My overachiever, I'm setting that aside right now. We're just going to go through these and check them out. So bush pilot is interesting because we do a lot of bush flying. I'm very curious what this is going to teach us. Let's click on it. I said click on it. And there we go. 5 hours later, it loaded. It's loading. What's going on? Come on. Load, please. There we go. Wow, that took like a minute and a half. I had to cut out of there. Get to grips with the skills required for gravel runways, mountain flying, and water operations. I like how they show an A320. I think that's what that is. Right there as a bush pilot thing. Interesting graphics they chose. Alrighty, it looks like we've got 7 modules here. Let's see how well we do. Let's see if we can get them all in one video. Short field takeoff. Here we go. Training. Expand your horizons as you take to the mountains of Alaska to learn the science and art of bush flying. Getting off the ground from a gravel runway requires a modified takeoff technique, requiring us to apply full power with holding the brakes before departing with a steep climb. Yep, here we go. I'm going to have all my stuff forward except my throttles.
Now it's time for something more wild and challenging than just a run-of-the-mill takeoff.
Are you wild and challenging, Jess?
Not all runways are long, flat, and clear of debris. Let's try taking to the sky from a more rugged surface. Keep holding the brakes.
Whoops.
It's a little more difficult to keep straight during the takeoff roll on a loose surface such as gravel as you lose some steering control.
Hold the brakes.
This runway is shorter than one you'd find at a larger airport, so we need to modify the takeoff technique to get off the ground and climb as quickly as possible. With the brakes applied, go ahead and increase power to full throttle.
Our objectives are ahead of
Excellent.
her.
The engine instruments are all in the green.
Here we go.
Now release the brakes and we'll get going.
There we go. Reach 45
Rotate
knots.
at 45 knots.
Well, this is not a smooth runway at all. There's 45. Boom. 15 degrees.
Now smoothly raise the nose to 15 degrees.
There we go. Nice.
Now that we're safely off the ground, go ahead and retract the landing gear. Maintain a 15 degrees nose-up attitude to hold a climbing airspeed of 60 knots.
Alright, we're a little aggressive on the climb. There we go. 60 knots it is. Oh, now we're up to 65.
Now retract the flaps to improve our climb rate.
Alright, turn.
Great. Now keep on climbing straight ahead.
Reach 1,000 feet. Maintain 60 knots. Okay, we'll climb steeper then. Steeper. There we go. Wow, this feels like we're going to tip backwards. I know we're not, but it feels like it.
Great. That's the short field takeoff in a nutshell.
And, okay. Hey! We could have done a lot better, but anyway, that's a gorgeous picture. Climb at 60. Yeah, we were going too fast. We were doing 65, and that's where we were docked. Alrighty, next one. Training menu, I guess. We have to go all the way back to here? Really? Next one, short field landing. Here we go. Let's see what they have to say about this one. You won't find many major airports and long runways out here in the mountains, requiring precise flying and accurate speed control. Learn how to come back down to earth and stop on a dirt strip. Okie dokie, let me reset my controls here on my yoke and have a sip of my soda. Not sponsored by anybody, and I'll see you in the slopes. It said don't strive for a smooth touchdown. It eats up surface, which I've talked about before, right? Whoa, hi, Jess. Good grief.
Now that you've taken off from a gravel runway, let's try landing on one.
Okay.
For this short field landing, the terrain dictates that we need to approach at an angle. Start by deploying the landing gear and get ready for our approach.
Landing gear coming down. Extend the gear. There we go. I feel the drag. Feel the drag.
Short runways require an early touchdown and full flaps to minimize our rollout so we don't run out of runway.
Okie dokie.
Next, fully extend the flaps.
And fully extending the flaps.
Great. Aim for an approach speed of 55 knots.
55. So we're going a little faster than, or slower than they want us to, so we'll nose down.
Aim close to the beginning of the runway so we have the longest roll possible, but be careful not to undershoot it. Cut the power just before touching down for a nice, smooth landing. Once we touch down, apply the brakes for a smooth landing that brings us to a stop as quickly as possible.
So we're going to tap the top of those trees, do a crash landing. Oh, we're not maintaining 55 knots. We're going to get docked. We're going to get docked. Alright, here we go. Runway threshold is in the weeds, it says. Ooh, that train turbulence. Oh boy, here we go. We're going to slam it into the ground, because that's what she said. She said slam it into the ground and hit the brakes. And there's the slam, down, and boom, brakes. Whoa, there we go. Ta-da! Very nice. B+?
You nailed the landing.
Nice.
The procedure is more challenging than at a larger airport, but being able to land on short and unimproved runways like this one opens up more possibilities for your adventures.
Alright, what do you think? B+? Ooh, we got a really high score on that one. I think 10,000 is the highest you can get. Look at that. Set full flaps, maintain. See, I told ya we weren't maintaining 55. We're doing like 53. And so we got docked. Alright, here we go. Can I go to this main menu? No, that's the main menu. Let's go to the training menu. And go back down again, I guess. And what's the third one say? Updrafts. Learn to soar along a ridgeline by riding air currents. Learn to take advantage of nature and soar like an eagle, riding updrafts along the mountainside. Okay, here we go. Windy conditions, it says. Reset my controls. And probably need throttle engage. I'll engage throttle once it loads. Okie dokie. I think I'm going to take a screenshot of that thing. Because I need a screenshot in order. Let's go outside super fast. Take a screenshot. We have the objectives
Mountain flying has its own set of hazards and requires its own set of specialized skills. Mountainous terrain, especially at high altitude, often creates dangerous turbulence, even when conditions appear dead calm. Fly on the right-hand side of the valley ahead, maintaining 2,000 feet altitude and 100 knots airspeed.
Oh, okay. We need a lot more.
Air flows over mountains like water does over rocks, conforming to the topography both on the upside and the downside.
Okay.
Air forced up the side of a mountain by wind creates updrafts, often unpredictable ones. Let's ride this wave of rising air and soar along these ridges like eagles.
Alright, 2,000 feet.
With the wind out of our left-hand side,
99
fly
knots.
just above the right side edge of the valley to ride the updraft.
Whew. This is, making me kind of nauseous here. Oh, throttle down so we stop ascending. Put back down to 1,000 or 2,000 so we don't lose points here. Quickly, down to 2,000 feet, please. We're losing points. We're getting down into B territory. There we go. There we go.
Now that we're flying alongside the valley wall,
That's cool.
you'll start to feel the aircraft want to gain altitude. Maintaining altitude needs a slightly lower pitch attitude than usual. We're now ridge soaring like an eagle.
Mm-hmm. I can feel it.
Turbulence often comes with updrafts, so
Yep.
prepare for the going to get a little rough.
Already is
Try to
rough.
stay in the rising air to get a good feel for it.
Whew, maintain 2,000 feet. Or we're too high. Alrighty, let's come back down a little bit here. We're getting docked. We're getting docked. We're definitely in B territory. Alright. This is really difficult, actually. Because that turbulence, look at our speed. It's really difficult. And updrafts are pushing us up. So it's hard to maintain 2,000 feet. Ugh. This is so difficult. This is interesting, though. I like it. We normally don't fly this way because I'm getting nauseous from the turbulence, but this is really cool. We're getting too
As
high
we reach
here.
the gap in the mountain wall on our right side, the updraft will level off and then ramp up again when we reach the other side of the gap.
Okay. Just following her instructions. 2,000 feet. There we go. 100 knots. Oh, I'm getting so nauseous from this. Let's just look around. No, that doesn't help. That makes it worse. That makes it worse. And I hate how you cannot get rid of the HUD when you are doing chase. You have to do drone to get rid of it in bush trip. Whoop, whoop. Maintain 100
Well
knots.
done, but there's room for improvement.
Yeah, that's B territory. Yeah. Yeah, what did she like? Yeah, just maintaining. I mean, that was really, really difficult. I bet if I did it again, I wouldn't get any better. It'd probably be a worse score. So let's just keep going here and see what's next. Back down to bush trip. And number 4, downdrafts. Here we go. Learn to respect the forces of nature as you battle with hazardous downdrafts. Alright, let me reset all my controls here. And see how this one goes. See if we can get back up in A tier. Again, I'm not chasing the A score, 100% score, but it's kind of fun to have something to aim for. Or else I'd just be like going through without paying that much attention. Alright, here we go. Ready to fly. Whoop, where's my mouse? There it is. Alrighty, what are we doing?
You've seen how updrafts help with lift as you soar along a ridge. Aim for 2,000 feet, this time keeping over to the left side of the valley, putting us on the downwind side of the mountains. The opposite of an updraft is a downdraft, where air spills over a mountain or ridge and descends down this backside slope. Keep over to the left side and you'll feel how you need to fight to maintain altitude.
I'm already noticing, yeah. Oh, 100 knots, please. And climb. Whoa. Holy cow. I guess, I wish you could have experienced that through the screen somehow.
You'll
That
find
was
it difficult to maintain altitude in a
crazy.
downdraft, so keep a high power setting and watch the altimeter
Whoa.
and be ready to work the controls, especially the elevator. If it
Wow.
gets too much, make a gentle turn to the right towards the middle of the valley. This will take you out of the downdraft.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time staying up to 2,000 feet here. Whoa, whoa. Jeez. This is crazy. Look how it's pushing us down. I'm not sure if you were watching the altimeter, the altitude tape on the right there. Yeah, we're not going to get to 100 knots because I'm trying to get to 1,000. Oh my goodness. This is nuts. Whoa. Whoa. Let's see if we can maintain this while we look around. It is gorgeous. There we go. Now we're over enough that we're not getting pushed down too much. But that was crazy. That was just crazy. I loved it though. Oh, let's keep that speed up and stop climbing.
Well done.
Thank you.
But there's room for improvement.
What? That was
Now
perfect.
that you've
What are you
experienced a
talking about?
downdraft,
Jess.
you'll know how to react the next time you encounter one while flying in the mountains. You'll encounter them on the downwind side of terrain, where winds blow at speeds of 10 knots and faster.
Is that it? There we go. Oh, look, we almost got an A, I think. Nope, never mind. Not even close. That was hard. Again, I thought I did great. Obviously, they didn't agree. If I did it again, it would be worse. So let's continue. Continue on. Let's see what we got next. We got 3 left. Water takeoff. Runways. Where we're going, we don't need runways. Take to the water and unlock the door. Hopefully when you're done with the flight. For a whole new way of flying. Okay, this will be fun. Reset my controls, get comfortable in my seat. Oh, that's a gorgeous shot. Maybe we'll use that as our thumbnail, huh? Wow. Alrighty, here we go. What does Jess have to say today?
The Icon A5 isn't limited to hard surfaces. We can experience the glorious Alaskan landscape all the more with our water-going capabilities. To get started, let's look at a basic water takeoff.
Okie dokie.
It's much more difficult to accelerate when in water, so you want to get as much lift as possible as quickly as you can. To reduce our takeoff run,
flaps,
we'll
probably?
use full flaps. Set the flaps to their fully extended position. Aim between the island and the shore. Where are you going? Aim between the island and the shore.
Going?
Alright, we have the water rudder retracted and the gear is up. Now give
Where are
it
you
full
going?
throttle to get us moving.
Did you hear that? Where are you
Use
going?
the rudder to aim for the gap
Oh, that
between
was
the island up ahead
amazing.
and the shoreline.
Oh, I love that little added sound file.
Lift the nose just a little at 50
Just a
knots
little.
to get airborne.
Okie dokie. 100 feet. There we go. Now what? Climb.
That's it. Now reduce the flaps to 15 degrees.
Alrighty. Done.
Now we can retract the flaps completely.
Okie dokie.
Good. Keep us climbing straight ahead, aiming for about 60 knots to get the best
Oh.
climb rate.
60 knots? Okay. I mean, we're doing, what, 90 knots? Right? Let's get this thing pointed to the sky. Uh-oh, I feel the slider. I feel the rubric slider ticking down into B territory. The longer it takes. Oh, there we go. 60 knots. And 1,000 feet. There we go. Sweet.
I think a bit more practice
What?
may be a good idea.
What? What? No. Okay, we are going to redo that one. What? It's because I was floating around having fun on my floaty, I guess. Okay, we can do better. We can do better than that. We'll reach 50 knots right there. Bam.
Lift the
We're
nose
gonna
just a
stay at
little at
60.
50 knots to get airborne.
And there's 100 feet.
That's it. Now reduce the flaps to 15 degrees.
There we go. Maintaining 60 knots.
Now we can retract the flaps completely.
Maintaining 60 knots.
Good. Keep us climbing straight ahead, aiming for about 60 knots to get the best climb rate.
Alright, there we are. 60 knots. 700 feet. 800 feet. And 900 feet. You better not complain that it's taking as long to get to 1,000. And 1,000. Yay, winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Once you nail water landings, you can really start to expand your horizons.
There's an A. There we go. What did they not like? See, it took too long to reach 1,000 feet, but we were at 60 knots the whole time. So I don't know how you do better. All right, perfect. Let's go. Penultimate thing here. What is it? Water landing. Who knew airplanes could float? Everybody? Being able to set down in a lake means bush flying is hugely flexible and rewarding experience. Try your first water landing here. We are no rookie to water landings in several simulators, so we'll see what my successful water landing technique will compare to what Jess wants us to do. Jess, I have a feeling this might be one we have to do a couple times, just because.
Bush flying brings a number of great do-anything, go-anywhere possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to land on the lake up ahead, so let's start getting ready.
All right.
Bring the throttle all the way back to idle.
There it is, back. You
Let
heard
the
it.
speed drop below 75 knots, right where the white band on the airspeed indicator begins.
Okay, and there it is.
Great. Now extend the first stage of flaps.
First stage of
Flaps
flaps.
15 degrees.
Flaps 15.
Now fully extend the flaps to 30 degrees.
Flaps 30. And what speed does she want us at?
Great. Now keep the power low and aim for 50 to 60 knots.
There we go, 55. I was
movement
one
of the
step
water
ahead,
is helpful,
Jess.
as super calm conditions make it harder to judge our height.
Yep.
Now we simply come in a lot like a runway landing, keeping our speed nice and low and touching down with minimum descent rate.
Okie dokie.
Aim for a nice smooth touchdown in the center of the lake.
Yeah, the thing that's hard about water landings is especially without peripheral vision in the sim. Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. Holy cow. You know, without peripheral vision in the sim is that you can't tell how high you are. Just like real life. Whoa, don't know what that was, train turbulence or something. In the sim it's worse because you don't have the peripheral vision, but in real life it's bad too. Very dangerous. Alrighty, let's see. We're a little slower than 55, so she's probably going to yell at us and take out some points, but I don't care. As long as you don't get a C on this one, I'll be happy. We would still be at 55, but the train turbulence kind of bonked us around a little bit. Whoa, there's more train turbulence causing us to sink. Maybe a little throttle, just so we don't stall here. You want to touch down smoothly in the middle of the lake, so we're going to come down. But then we're going to, you know, level off to be smooth. And we cleared the trees. Now, and here we go. And we're going to try to touch down right there, but we're getting faster because a little bit of throttle I gave it. We land a little past where she wanted us to, whatever. There we go. There we go. Are we bouncing? I've never bounced my water landings before. Set flaps to 0 and decelerate.
Once on the water, the aircraft will slow hydrodynamically.
Yep.
Fully retract the flaps to reduce our lift, helping us to slow down more quickly.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no brakes, so there's nothing you can do. You just have to hang out and land more slowly next time, so that might ding us. We were doing really well, but then I gave it a little bit of throttle to get over those trees, and it totally gave us way too much speed.
Fantastic.
Really?
Water landings open up a ton of new possibilities.
Really?
Next, we'll put all that you've learned to the test with the bush flying challenge.
But first, can we go skinny dipping in this lake first? Because this looks very inviting. Whoa, that's like our best score so far. How? I landed way too quick. Land on the lake. I guess the bouncing probably knocked us down. Alright, here we go. Skinny dipping is over. Let's do the last thing here. And see if we get A's or B's, you know, average. Oh, now we have to do everything on our own, don't we? Oh my. Yep, we got to take off, go around on the ridges, and land. Put what you've learned to the test as you embark upon a short flight through the Alaskan valleys and mountainsides. Okie dokie. Here we go.
Now that we've been through the basics, let's put your bush flying skills to the test. We're going to take a short trip through the mountains to Dogfish Bay. Get set up for a water takeoff.
Full flaps it is.
Great. Now get us airborne.
Okay. Here we go. Reach 50 knots. Reach 100 feet. But I'm going to climb at 60. So it's just going to matter. There's 50 knots. I'm going to go 60 for 100 feet. Whoops. Point down to gain speed. What am I thinking here?
Now bring in the flaps and keep us climbing to an altitude of 1,500 feet.
1,500 feet. Flaps in. Here we go. As we like, it took you too long to get to 1,500 feet, but then you weren't at 60, so that's what we're going to battle with. And all these climbing ones and all the training, if you keep the airspeed they want, you get docked on taking too long to reach altitude. I guess I can climb more steeply because we're going too fast. There's 900 feet above sea level. 1,000 feet above sea level. 1,100. Oh, how gorgeous is this? I hate... Oh wait, look at that. Oh, there it is. I hate that thing. Ugh. Whatever. I have to use the drone, but then I can't control my aircraft. So
maintain an altitude of 1,500 feet and head over to the valley up ahead.
Alright. Maintain 1,500 feet and go to the valley. And we're at 1,600 feet. We're gonna get in big trouble. Big trouble. I'm actually pointing down to lose altitude because I want to gain my speed as well. Once we're at 100, now we'll bring back throttles to descend 100 feet. We're getting docked on that 1,600 feet. Whatever. Whatever. If we get a B, I'll be happy. If we get a C, I might be a little frustrated, but I don't really care. Oh boy, here we are. No.
Turn to the right here and maneuver through the valley.
Yeah, if
the wind is now coming from our left, so decide which side of the valley to fly over to avoid downdrafts.
It's coming from the left, we want to be to the right, right? Oh my gosh. So, yeah, even if we get a D on this one, I'm not doing this again because I'm getting nauseous from the whatchamacallit, the drafts. So, we are not going to redo this one no matter what. Ugh. Yuck. There's 1,500 feet. About 1,550, I guess. So we're on the right side to avoid the downdrafts, which would be on the left side.
You've chosen the updraft side of the valley, allowing you to soar along the ridge.
Good. Yeah, because the wind's coming from the other way, so it's downdraft over the mountains and updraft to get over the next mountains. That's how that works. Seems pretty straightforward to me. We're going to clip our wing because that'd be hilarious. Of course we're not going to, but let's maintain an altitude here. Cruising right along. We're booking it too. I'm gonna have to see where we're landing so we don't go too fast.
Dogfish Bay is just ahead.
Okay, let's start slowing down.
When bush flying, it is always wise to do a flyover of the landing site first to check the conditions of the strip. Start a gradual descent, and we'll fly past the runway to take a look.
Runway inspection. I can't see anything. Oh yeah, look at that runway. It's water. Which we already know that. But that's, oh gosh, that's so gorgeous. I just want to look around. I cannot wait to get back to these bush strips. Oh wait, I guess I'm not supposed to descend yet. Oh man, that's gonna knock my score way down, isn't it? Bummer. Bummer. Oh well.
The runway looks good to me.
Alright.
Reduce speed to under 75 knots and descend to under 1,000 feet to prepare for approach.
Okay. 75 knots. So throttle was back. There's 75 knots. Now we can start descending. I said speed below 75 knots. I was at 70. What's the problem? Look, I'm at 70 knots. And I'm not getting marked out. Maybe he's going to wait till I'm at 1,000. I don't know. But, I hope we at least get a C on this one. Okay, we're at 1,000. We're below 75 knots. There's 1,000 feet. Why are we not getting... There it is. Took forever.
Take the first stage of flaps. Flaps 15 degrees.
Flaps 15.
This landing will be on a short grass runway. Lower the land.
I found the activity. Where were we going? I didn't see a grass runway. I saw water. It said to land. It said to inspect it, and the inspection was over the water, wasn't it? Okay, I guess we're gonna try this again.
Now that we've been through the basics,
that was weird.
Let's put your bush flying skills to the test. Dogfish Bay is just ahead. When bush flying, it is always wise to do a flyover of the landing site first to check the conditions of the strip. Start a gradual descent, and we'll fly past the runway to take a look.
Okay, so no, that's why I was doing it. Yeah, start a gradual descent. That's why I was descending. See, I don't see a grass runway. I see a flyover in the water, right? Everybody sees that with me, right? Unless she means this grass strip that I saw here. That one right there. That's where we're going. Right there, under the airplane. That's what we're doing. So we're starting a gradual descent, except she doesn't want us at 1,000 feet. I mean, she's going to want us at 1,000 feet.
The runway looks good to me. Reduce speed to under 75 knots and descend to under 1,000 feet to prepare for approach.
There we go.
Take the first stage of flaps. Flaps 15 degrees.
There we go.
This landing will be on a short grass runway. Lower the landing gear.
We haven't failed yet.
Finally, take full flaps and perform a short field landing.
Full flaps. Whoa, my thing is weird. There we go. Alright, let's descend. Doo-doo-doo. There it is. Everything is down. The thing about the Icon A5 is like driving a sports car in the air. It's really cool. Very different too, but very cool. Alright, here we go. Nice and slow. I was getting a text from my wife, so I wasn't looking. Never text and fly, especially when you're landing. Right, here we go. Nice firm touchdown. Boom. On the brakes. There we go. Ta-da! Think we got a B maybe?
Well done.
Oh, we
Now
got a B.
you can proceed with confidence in your new abilities.
Hopefully we got a B.
With these newly acquired skills, you can explore some of the globe's most remote, little-seen corners.
And what do we get? Got an A. Whoa! That's our highest score of all. The whole thing. Alrighty, I think having all A's except 2 B's gives us a solid A. There we go. Again, not really chasing the A's. This is kind of fun, right? So there we go. That is the bush pilot training that was added in the Game of the Year update. Next video or another time, we will do IFR navigation, more discovery flights, and back to our bush trips. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, so you know when the next content comes up and you can see what it is when I know what it's going to be. And I'll see you next time.